Today I want to talk about 5 reasons why I believe I was able to get out with a profit on iron.finance. So I did a video showing that I was exiting out of my investments related to iron, and I was using the liquidity pools over on adamant.finance. It was a Titan Matic pool and the Titan Iron pool. And I got out of those liquidity pools, and I made a video showing that I was getting out, and at the time I'd made about $6,600 and some change in profit. I'll link that video above. I'll put it down in the description. I think it's very interesting to watch that video now because at the time iron had not collapsed. But mere hours later, the whole thing collapsed, and people commented on that video how good my timing was. How did you get out so well? So I want to discuss what are the 5 reasons that I believe I was able to exit that market. And then I kind of want to walk through some of the emotions that I went through my head as the price was going up and pulling back and going up again. And it went up almost parabolic. Now, primarily what we're talking about in this ecosystem is the Titan token, which is part of the pair, the algorithmic stable coin. Here's the first reason that I believe I was able to make a profit of over $6,000. I understood I could make money when people were being irrational, and I was willing to ride the momentum. I saw Adamant first. I understood what iron was a little bit, but when I saw Adamant and I happened to see the percentages, they were crazy on the liquidity pools for the iron token. And I came over here and I saw that Titan was sitting over here at $4. At that point, I thought Titan was overvalued already. If you understand how iron works, if iron had a good, steady, organic adoption, the supply would grow and continue to go up over time. But the Titan price should go up and down because it was part of the system that allowed minting and redemptions. And that whole algorithm is what helped keep iron pegged to $1 at the time. So the price of Titan should go up or down, up or down. Instead, it was doing something similar to the TVL. It was just going straight up. And it was going straight up at a ridiculous pace. When I came in at $4, I saw the momentum and I thought, okay, I can ride this up a little bit. And I figured that the price was going to pull back and was going to pull back sharply. I'll get to that in a moment. Early on, I thought I can ride this up, and when I see some weakness, I'll sell out because I understood when there was weakness, the whole thing could collapse potentially at that moment. And I'll cover that in one of my other points. But the second point is, I understood that I could not time the market. When I got in immediately, I knew 2 things. I may not get out of the top, and I was not going to get out of the bottom. I was going to get out somewhere in the middle. I did not have a crystal ball. I could not time the market. I could not predict the market. I couldn't tell you how high Titan was going to go up. I thought it was overvalued when I got in. For me, I was just making a momentum play at the time. And I thought if it goes up $1 to $5 or $6, I'll make a little bit of profit on this liquidity pool. And I was going to be okay with that. And if it did pull back, then it's possible that the whole ecosystem would work the way that it was supposed to. Iron could become a legit stable coin at that point, and if it happened, then I was going to be okay with that. I would just hold it out, sit in the liquidity pool, and make some good returns. The third reason I feel like I was able to profit is because I had experience with algorithmic stable coins. If you've been a subscriber to my channels, I had some good experience with algorithmic stablecoins because the mechanism that works with the algorithmic stablecoins would allow you to earn some passive income. This is a good time to say, if you love earning passive income, make certain that you subscribe to the channel. I love cryptocurrency and I love passive income. In fact, you can go down to the description. You can subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. It's a free newsletter. Because of my previous experience with algorithmic stablecoins, every single one of them ended in the same way. And in every case, the price of shares or the price of Titan did just like this. It went straight up and straight down. And sometimes it came way down. But when they started to turn down, the price started to dip. But when it dipped, it typically dipped really, really hard. That's what my experience told me. So again, I knew I couldn't time the market. I knew when a dip happened, I might not have a lot of time to get out, and I knew I was going to have to act fast. This caused me to go in with a smaller amount, and I knew that this was going to be high risk. I could lose it all. I knew that up front. Originally, I was thinking, look, I'm just going to make 20-30% profit on this thing. Maybe, hopefully, I'll pull out of it. I'll be done. But the price just went nuts. Here's the fourth thing that I understood. Algorithmic stablecoins will only work as long as people have faith in them. And this is the number one reason none of them have succeeded so far. And when I say succeeded, there are several projects out there working on trying to perfect this technology. I'm rooting for the technology. The weak spot so far of this technology is all the unique tokenomics in the world doesn't matter if people believe the system is broken. Once people lose faith, it doesn't matter what the algorithm does to try to incentivize a certain behavior. So for example, with iron, what the algorithm basically did was when the iron price was really, really low, there was supposed to be incentive to be able to decrease the supply of iron, and it's a profitable incentive. And then when the price of iron was over $1, there's an incentive in place to increase the supply of iron, and it's supposed to be profitable. It's profitable mainly based on the Titan token. But when the Titan token gets irrational, that's when you start increasing the risk that this whole thing is going to fall apart. And when people realize that, hey, it's not worth it, I don't care how much of a bonus you're giving me in Titan, it's not going to be worth it. It's when there's a herd mentality and everybody has this belief, then all of a sudden the entire thing's going to fall apart. So it's only going to work as long as people believe that it can work. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But the moment that people think that it's not going to work, it's game over. Anytime I'm investing, my entire trading strategy is try to be right even if you're wrong. And this is really probably the key for me. Try to be right even when you're wrong. If you go back and watch my video where I talked about, I'd made about $6,600 in profit. In that video, I talk about, hey, this thing might keep going. It might keep going. Maybe it turns around and goes to $200, in which point I would have missed out on some profits. But it's okay because I'm still partially right because I made some profit. Sure, maybe if it would have went to $200, I could have made 3 times that. But there are several things that get people in trouble. One is their ego and their greed. And I knew that it's better to be partially right in the event that I'm wrong than it is just to be wrong. So one example of when I could have just been wrong is thinking, hey, Titan's going to go to $200, I'm not going to sell anything. And if I would have done that because I didn't want to miss out on profits, I would have went down with the entire ship. So the rule is try to be right even if you're wrong. Some profit is always going to be a win. It doesn't matter if you don't maximize profits. If you keep making small, consistent profits, you end up building a fortune. The goal is don't go down with the ship. Recap, 5 key reasons why I think I was able to get out. And then I want to kind of walk you through my thought process on, as the price was going up. So I believed that I could make money off of people acting irrational, and I believe that people were acting irrational because of the Titan token I did not think was supposed to be over $4, and yet it went up at $4, way up from $4. I had experience with algo stable coins. I understood how quickly the price could go down. I understood that I was not ever going to be able to time the market. Even if I understood what the typical price action looked like, I was not going to be able to time how high I could not tell you how high the price was going to go, and I could not tell you when the price was going to break and it was going to drop permanently. The fourth reason is algorithmic stable coins only work because people have faith in them. So that really goes back from experience to number 3. And number 5 is my rule. I try to be right even if I'm wrong. And partially right is a win. You can put that down in the comments if you agree. Partially right is a win. So let me walk you through what my actual thought pattern was the entire time that the price was going up, because there was a couple of key moments that I want you to understand what my inner thoughts were sharing. And I'm just going to be directly blunt and honest with you on what I was thinking. When I get in, price is sitting over here at around $4. I get in and I'm thinking, okay, this is already overpriced. It could drop. And so I did not go in with like $10,000, $20,000. I went in with like less than $5,000, knowing it may go to zero. Maybe I can pull some of it out if it starts to drop too fast. And you know what? It's not the end of the world if this goes down. If it goes down, then maybe it settles out and it actually works. So even if the price goes down to say around $1 or below $1, maybe it levels out and it actually works the way that it really should work. And at which time, by the way, you would make a lot of fees. I mean, because the way that LPs work is you really want the two assets to move back and forth to each other. You want them to just constantly go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If that happens, you're just making fees, making fees, making fees. And that's awesome. And that's what I thought could happen. Maybe I'll lose in the short term, but I would make it okay in the long run. Or if the whole thing collapsed, I wasn't going in too heavy. I didn't put in $25,000 into this thing. When I got in early on, the price went up like 4. It went up to like 5, 6. And it was like, wow, that's crazy. And it happened within a couple of days. And then all of a sudden it was at like 7, 8. And a buddy of mine was like, can you believe what's going on with Titan? And I was like, no, it makes no sense. It's crazy. It's irrational. It should not be this high. And then it kept going up and it got up to like $10. This is the moment that I made a pivotal decision. Right here at $10, I was like, that's a good round number. Anything can happen at $10. And it just so happened that the price dropped. It pulled back to like $7. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, it went to 10. It was a good round number, pulled back to 7. This is the moment. And it dropped hard to 7. I thought this is the moment I'm going to need to get out. I've made some money here. I'm good. And I did. I actually sold my positions. I was out. I got out totally. Now, and I forget what my actual LP amounts were, but my US dollar values were, but I got out. And when I got to that point, I was good. For about 24 hours, I was out of the pool. Maybe it was 16 hours. Anyway, all of a sudden this price went back up to about $10. When I saw it was back to $10 and it had fully recovered, I told you earlier I knew I could make money from people being irrational. And I realized psychology of people, they're going to say, oh, this is going to work now. In other words, their belief just got reinforced because it recovered. And I thought, oh man, this is probably going to just keep going up. So I got back in. And sure enough, that's what happened. Now I missed out right here. I actually could have made a good percentage more had I wrote it down and back up, because on adamant.finance, my LP tokens were compounding. But I ended up getting back in. This is the time that I came in, I think, with like 75 or 7,800 worth, whatever it was. But then the price kept going up and it got sharper. And we broke $20. And at some point in there, I ended up pulling off a little bit of profit and bought some of the Addy token on Addy Finance. And then the price kept going up. It kept going up. And now this is where it gets pivotal. We went all the way up to about $50. This is the day before it collapsed, when I saw it at $50 or $51. I thought long and hard about just exiting. On this run up, I really didn't take a lot of profits out but one time. Originally, I was going to take some profits out, and then I thought, you know what? It's irrational. It's going up so fast. If I pull out my funds, pull out my LP tokens, then what's going to happen is I'm going to miss out on, some of these gains. So I decided to ride it out, thinking I'm so far ahead on this thing that I'm going to have time to pull out if I need to. That was my thought. I'm so far ahead, it can fall a long ways. I should at least be able to get out for profit. Hopefully, worst case scenario is going to break even. I'm still thinking worst case scenario, I may still get out at break even. Still. Because in my mind, if I don't have the funds in my wallet that I can control, it's dashboard money. It's not really real yet. So that night, I thought long and hard. There was no weakness in the market at this point. 50, 51, somewhere in there. It had not pulled back at all. And I thought, you know what? You've made enough money. Just walk away now. Walk away now. It could go up more, but you've done good. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to sleep on it. I'm going to let it go overnight. I'll check it in the morning. Maybe it pulls back, because I thought $50 was a good round point. Maybe it pulls back, and maybe I wake up and I've lost it all. I don't know. But, we'll see. I pulled out a little bit of profit. So worst case scenario, it's not going to go to zero. At that time, I pulled out about $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 worth of profit, somewhere in there, $2,000 to $4,000. So it's okay. It's not going to go to zero. Then when I wake up, I didn't even check Adamant right away. It was late morning before I ever checked it. But when I checked it, I saw that it had kind of done this right here. And I thought, oh, again, seeing any weakness in the price was a warning sign for me. Big warning sign. And I thought, now's the time. I'm going to pull out some of my profits. So I was going to pull out half of it from Adamant. I went to pull that out, but when I pulled it out, I saw something that bugged me. The Matic network, the Polygon network, Matic, was having problems. I couldn't get transactions to go through. Now, I did not realize it was a network at that time. At first, I thought it was maybe my internet connection. Maybe it was something wrong with MetaMask, the settings, something. I just thought it was a technical issue on my end. But after messing with it for a few minutes, I realized this isn't just, there's more to this. I hadn't seen anyone else talk about having problems yet. I went into Telegram. Everybody was talking about, don't worry, price is going to recover just like it did before. We're going to 200. We're going to 400. And I thought for a moment, maybe I should just leave it alone. But I looked at the price. The price was down a couple more dollars. And I thought, I need to get half of this out. Let the other half ride and I'll be good. Well, it ended up taking me over 3 hours. And somewhere in the process, I realized if it's going to be this hard to exit now, and this thing isn't in full collapse mode, then when it gets into full collapse mode, I'm not going to be able to get out. And I actually didn't know if there was something wrong with the Matic network, or if something was wrong because other people were trying to get out or other people were trying to get in. What was going on? I didn't know if Iron Finance was causing all the congestion or what. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to be right even if I'm wrong. I'm going to get out at this point. I've done well on this one. Maybe it goes up. Maybe I could double this. Maybe I could triple this, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and exit. And eventually, I was able to increase my gas. I was able to eventually get out of the project. It took a long time. And when I got out, I took everything off of Adamant because I was so frustrated with the Polygon network and the way it was acting. I didn't know if I was having an issue actually with Adamant at one point. I thought Adamant Finance might be the issue. I didn't know if it was SushiSwap and they're on their end. I didn't know if it was a Titan Iron issue, if it was a Polygon issue. I really wasn't sure what the issue was. I was just frustrated. I wanted to get into USDC and at least have that in my MetaMask. So I exited it. I exited it with my original profit, and I really made more than $6,600 because I had made some more profits. But When I pulled out at that moment, I had over $6,600 in profits on top of what I went in that second time. Several hours later, I came back and realized that it had bounced actually back up a little bit. Price overnight, by the way, I said it was at 50 something the night before. The truth is it actually went all the way up to $64. When I come up the next morning, it was like $52, $51. It had pulled back. And before I could get my Matic out, it was probably down to 45 or 43, 41 maybe, before I could get everything out of the liquidity pools. And then later, I saw the price had actually bounced back up. And I thought, maybe I got out too soon. And I said, oh, well, I'm not worried about it. I made good profits. We're done. And I forgot about it. And then later that day, I just logged in to see what was going on. And I saw that price had went way to crap. And it was just dropping faster and faster and faster. Iron had lost the peg. And I pretty much knew that it was going to be game over. There was nothing that could. When I saw iron was down to like 91 cents and I saw how much Titan had dropped, I knew a lot of people had been wrecked. They were not going to be trying to buy more Titan and they weren't trying to buy more iron tokens. People had lost faith in the ecosystem at that point. And I knew it was a mad rush for the door. And it was unfortunate. And I didn't know if there was some sort of exploit or what happened. I ended up doing an entire video talking about a final report of what the dev said happened. I kind of walked through the whole thing. I did that. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it above. I'll put it on the screen. You can go ahead and watch it. That's how I got away from iron with a profit. But understand, a big part of this was still luck. People say, how did you time it so well? The timing so well was the part that was luck. The reason I was even able to take half my profit, I didn't need to be greedy. I wanted to be right even if I was wrong. And I knew if I took half those profits, I was going to make some profit on the project if the rest went to zero. But when I saw there was a challenge with the Polygon Matic network, just understand how crypto can be. I've seen congestion on Ethereum. I've seen congestion on Binance Smart Chain. I knew I needed to get away. So I just pulled out completely. Hopefully this thought process has been helpful for you. If so, let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm going to be recording another video here in a few moments, and I'm going to be talking about how to yield farm in a way that is safer. So if you want to watch that video, make certain you subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't seen the video of my final report on iron.finance, I'll link that on the end screen. Go ahead and watch that now. Ladies and gentlemen, decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.